And yes, we are live, and you're welcome to another Tuesday live. And today, yes, I'm live in real time. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining me. Ready. Let's go. Today, we started the Back to School Masterclass. I was particularly excited. It was such an exciting class for me. And if you were not there, you missed a lot. So today, we're talking about winning the first 30 days of school. So, the team members were trying to, talk about, oh, what is it that we're going to talk about? What do you want to teach? And we said, oh, we need the 30 days of school. Something struck me. I realized that one of the reasons why a lot of parents struggle, after a while when the school has started, is that this winning that we're talking about ends up being like, oh, you've finished doing it for a few days and then everybody's tired. And then the school days goes the same way. So today we're talking about the Back to School Masterclass, and we're talking about systemizing your parenting instead of just stumbling on your parenting. And one of the things that I said in that class was that you need to build systems to get these things to get sustainable. Now, while it is okay for you to wish that the school year will go well, like, oh, I don't want to wake up in the morning and I'm yelling and all of that, what systems have you put in place to actually ensure that this happens? My name is Wendy Ologan. I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how you can win in the next 30 days, the first 30 days of school resumption. School is about to resume. How do you plan to win? Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me for the first time, let me see you share and say, yes, I am a first-time viewer. I am a first-time viewer. But because you're a first-time viewer, of course, you might not understand what it is that happens in the cathedral. Allow the people in the cathedral to welcome you. Where are our cathedral members? Where is prefect? Now, welcome to the cathedral. We're here every Tuesday at our YouTube channel, and we're constantly sharing on different, aspects of parenting. Today, we're talking about back to school. So whatever it is that is important at per time and in that system and all of that, we'll share about that and gives you insight. Hi, Shakira. It says, I salute able yarders and I'm happy to be here. Shout out to you. All right. We're going to run quickly. If you have anybody who is not here, invite them now. Let them know that we are live now. Because, yes, we are live. You don't want to miss this class for anything. And you don't want people around you to miss it for anything. Share this link with your family and your friends. Put it everywhere. Let everybody see that we are here. All right. Sorry about that. Somebody said, Coach, is this your real face? What is all that now? Christian Okobi, how are you? I'm here to recover from this morning session, Chinyere Nadoze says, right? So this morning session was amazing. If you are not at the Back to School Masterclass, right, please, you still have an opportunity to join. Somebody sent me a heartwarming message after that class. The person said, Coach, I actually thought that I did a lot for my children when it comes to back to school, but I didn't realize that I haven't even cut the chase. Like, I listened to the Back to School Masterclass and I was asking myself, where have I been? She's not in the inner circle. She's not been in there. That was her first time of listening to me in a class. And she said to me, please, I want to be in this inner. If this outer circle looks like this, I wonder what will happen in the inner circle. So you can still join us at the Back to School Masterclass. It is important that you note that the Back to School Masterclass is already ongoing. If you get in now, you still get replay of the class we had today, but there are 3 more classes. No, there are 4 more classes. And there are a lot of perks that you actually receive just being, at the Back to School Masterclass. Thank you so much, Ugonwa. Ugonwa, I can see that Ugonwa, Dr. Happiness's assistant, is here. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. So today, I want to share with you, I want to start with this conversation. And hello, my mom is here. By the way, my mom just came in and she's my home. Yeah, mommy, it's so good to have you. All right. So the most important 5 minutes of a child's day. The reason I want to tell you about this 30 days is I want to first of all go to this space so that you will understand why creating a system for the first 30 days is very important. All right? I love it. Mercy say, welcome to the Harvard of Parenting. We are all that you need to be a parent in this generation. Trust me, if you are not here, you're wrong. All right. Somebody said, I just paid for master class. How do I get replay of today's class? Not to worry. The team is going to share the link with you. You will get the replay. And I'm sure that the replay will be in the group, all right, where you made payment. Okay. Now, as parents, we always focus on the hours in between. Homework, meal time, routines. But what truly shapes a child's sense of safety and also their belonging and also their self-worth are the first and the last 5 minutes of their days. These small windows, that's what I call them, they act as bookends. You know, they hold the weight of everything in between. So the 5 minutes, the launch pad, and the last 5 minutes, the safe landing. So you need to make sure that the first 5 minutes, that's the way the child begins their day, you know, sets the tone on how they face the world. So the first 5 minutes of your child's life, every single day, is so important. And the last 5 minutes of their life, every single day, is so important. So stop, you're chasing the minor and majoring in minoring in major, like we say, right? So if you're constantly, hey, homework, hey, meal time, that's not always what to focus on. Now, why do you focus on the first 5 minutes? Now, the way your child begins their day will set the tone. Now, a rushed, a tense morning sends them off already stressed. Your child gets to school already stressed, already struggling. That's a problem. But when you have a warm, calm, affirming state, it equips them with confidence and peace. Now, something as simple as a hug, an eye contact when a child wakes up, a music in the background when they are awake, like I was teaching in the back to school master class today, awesome class. I can't even say all of it, right? As simple as that can make them just begin. So today is going to be great. That can shift their mindset. Those moments tell your children you're seen, you're loved, you are capable. So it's not just about elaborate routine, it's just about presence. And that's why when parents tell me, I'm not there when my children wake up, I've already gone to work, I feel for those children. Believe you me, I feel for them because it is a great deal, right? And then the last 5 minutes of that day, that's where what I call the safe landing. When your child lays down on their bed, their brain replays the day. They ending it with correction. Are they ending it with correction? Are you ending it with nagging? Are you ending it with anger that is unsettled? When you end the day with a tool that connects, a gentle conversation, gratitude, prayer, a story, it tells them, no matter what has happened today, you are safe. No matter what we've been through today, you are forgiven. Tomorrow is a fresh start. Now, that final moment is what seals their emotional state. It helps them to rest in security and wake up recharged. Why is it important? When you look at neuroscience, it tells us that children hold on to the peak moment, the start and the end moment, more than the middle. That's how it works. So, spiritually and emotionally is a chance to bless their day and release them into peace at night. Relationally, it communicates unconditional love. I'm with you from start to finish. That's what it does. So if you can only win these 2 moments of their day, let it be the first 5 minutes when they wake up and the last 5 when they actually sleep. Those minutes become their anchor. That's what is going to help you to win the first 30 days in school. That's where we needed to start from. Welcome here again. Have you shared this link with a family and friend? We have only 100 people watching. That's strange. Carry this link. Get into where it is that you are and share it with a family and a friend. All right? Share it with the family. Share it in your school group. Share it in your communities. Get people to come and listen. Get people to come. There's so much to learn today. There's always too much to learn. All right? Yes, there's always too much to learn. Welcome here, Professor Kristen Checken. It's so good to see you today. It is very important for you to note. I'm going to just give, so let's give these few minutes, carry this link, go and invite somebody. Maybe we're moving too fast. You've not had the time to really go and invite someone, right? So go and invite someone while we go on a short break. Share this link, share it with everybody, and we will go on that break now.
Hello world, my name is Christiana Ali Ofere, aka the Microphone Empress. I am a returning level 1 inner circle parent since 2021 and already sitting and chilling in 2026 cohort 1A, a feat that I achieved since February of 2025. I encountered TIP in the year 2019, but I hovered around TIP until 2021. And what brought me in was seeing that my prospects had her testimony shared on a platform like this. I made my payments and I dived into the arc. Now I came into TIP hoping to learn to parent my children, but hey, I got self-development. I got to learn how to parent myself first. I learned in TIP that parenting is first about me, and truly I became the first beneficiary of the systems and tools I am able to implement. TIP is the life hack for me. TIP is the expected miracle if you can implement the teachings that you encounter in TIP. I run by the TIP Almighty formula, which I call SC, SK, SY, ST square. SC is schedules, SK is skills, SY is systems, ST1 is structures, ST2 is strategies. These are the tools that replace the need for you to push, hover over your children or flog your children. So if you truly must parent in peace and calm, it means you are willing to hold yourself to a higher standard of discipline. That is truly where your parenting in peace comes. I live in the military system, and by TIP, I truly have a chaos-free life. TIP has been likened to Noah's Ark. I want to now liken TIP to an armored tank. The armored tank stands right in front of the battle line. Those inside the armored tank never get affected. Why? It's a safety system. It's the place of safety, the place of growth, the place of transformation. Are you thinking whether you need TIP? Come closer. Yes, please. You need it. Scratch all the scriptures you know. Scratch all the titles you have. Scratch how we were raised. And just come into the ark and truly be transformed. This is the call to you to come on board. TIP, no, scratch that. The inner circle is my game changer. And I found a better way to parent my children. I learned how to parent without chaos. Yes, it is possible to raise children without flogging. But hey, as Africans, we think it's not possible here. But at TIP, I learned it is possible, especially because TIP teaches you to hold yourself to higher standards of discipline so you can truly implement. Because of the truth in TIP, I am seated in the coming year. You too can be like me. Get on board. TIP payment is 120,000 naira per individual and 200,000 naira for a couple. If you break that into daily payments, that's 328 naira per day. That cannot even buy you a bottle of Coke. Will it? Your transformation, your self-development is worth more than 328 naira. Come on board, and from the very first webinar, your money would have already been completely spent. I said that, and that's on period. Yeah.
And yes, that was the Microphone Empress, Christina Alio Furry. That was really, really awesome. All right, I like listening to the testimonials and the reviews from the others. And anytime I get to listen to it, and I'm smiling like, oh yeah, come on now. Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you. Yes, cohort lead par excellence. I can see her cohort people hailing her. Hello, my Lord, Omolara Adeyemi. So good to see you here. Winning the first 30 days of school. So did you share this link with someone to come and join us? How do you set the rhythm that carry your child throughout the year? How do you set that rhythm? What do you do? Now, why is the first 30 days important? I've shared with you that if you don't get the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of the day of your child right, 30 days becomes a problem. 30 days becomes a problem. Now, the tone setter, there's something we call, or I call, the tone setter principle. That's what I call it. The tone setter principle. The first month is like laying the foundation of a building. Have you ever seen the foundation of a building before? All right. That whole 30 days is that foundation that you're looking at. And if you do not lay the foundation is not, the Bible says that if the foundation is wrong, what can the writers, do? So it means that the foundation, that 30 days, anything you do is what holds you up in the next day. So the first month is not just another month, it's a tone setter of the foundation upon which all of the rest of the school year is built. Just like how the foundation determines how strong or stable it will be. So if you set it wrong, morning are rushed, there is chaos, children go to school stressed, learning becomes harder. Evenings are filled with nagging, power struggles, instead of peace and connection. Parents feel constantly, drained. That's how it's going to run. So you need to actually create something that in the next 30 days, you are able to get it right. It's psychology. It helps you to actually understand that this thing is doable. And it helps you to try and test that system that you have set up for yourself. That's one of the things that helps you do. All right. That's actually very, very important. So you find out that many times, as soon as school starts now and you start on the wrong note, that's how you finish. Just settle down and think about it. In the morning. So if it means that you're going to start, so you know how you're starting something, you didn't plan it. You know that it's more difficult to plan it in the middle. So you tell yourself, am I not going to start from the middle and start planning this thing? You just tell yourself, let me just finish it like that. And then you just continue. So all this stress. So that's why when you come every day, right? You say, oh, it's impossible to. I was teaching today, this morning at back to school. I said, we usually say that it's impossible to dress any child without yelling. It's impossible. I said to them that thing is a lie from the pit of hell. Who told you that lie? Who told us that lie? All right. But if you start right, how do you start right? It's in the structures and the systems that you build. That's how you start right. The morning is fed. There's a rhythm of calmness. Yadas who heard me teach about how to start the school year and how to start the day, who have stopped yelling in the morning. Who is the witness? Who is the witness? Because we start from the beginning. We plan. Like for instance, this year, most people, I was seeing reviews of many inner circle parents who were coming to me to tell me about their holidays, how it went. Because in January, the first thing we do in the inner circle is to create a vacation plan. Look at the time. Vacation plan for many parents happen in Easter, happen in summer, happen in December. Whichever time you choose it, one of the things that we say in the yard is that you plan it from the beginning. So there's no chaos. So you start in the morning, right? That's early. So you create that whole system. So we are working in the system. Somebody said to me that the Lagos Theatres planned to go to, I think that was a museum in Abeokuta, and they all went. And somebody reached out to me and said, Coach, I've been there twice. But this time I went with a crafted plan. And when we did, I learned so much. It was not the same. See, one of the things that the inner circle does for you, even though you know what you're doing, is that it gives you reason and you understand it better. You're not just doing it because you heard. You understand it better. And then you are able to start better. You put in structures. You'll now be telling yourself something you've been struggling to do. Winifred said, I'm a witness. I stopped yelling in the morning. At the end of last session, my children received many awards. Come on now. Because there is a whole system. Today, I said that children don't just carry books to school. They carry the emotional climate of the house. So when you wake up and the first thing you are doing is that you're everywhere. You are, there's no plan. Even for the back to school, you have not planned it. You've not planned it. You've not planned how you are going to put together to stop yelling in this new school season. You haven't planned it. You have just assumed that, hey, I'm always yelling in the morning. No, children have just started again. This time around there, I promise myself I will never yell again. Yimu. Like you say in Nigeria, Yimu. You know what Yimu is? Yimu for the Yimu. Yimu to the Yimu. It will not happen. I remember when I said I wanted to stop yelling. Let me tell you a bit of my story. So I said I wanted to stop yelling. And, I was like, I grew up with a dad who was a yeller. My mom wasn't. So I said to myself that I am going to stop yelling. I will never be like my father. I'm never going to be raising my voice. I'm not going to shout at my children. Who is on that table with me? This thing is inherent. You don't get it. You were raised, indoctrinated, programmed with it. Programmed. I kept praying. I even kneel down and pray. I even put it in my Shiloh request. God knows the answer that kind of prayer. So if you're one of those who has stood up now and you're praying, God, let this school new year be calm. Let my children be respectful. Let them wake up early. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. God actually expects you to put a plan. He said, have you ever seen a man who is set out to put a building together and does not plan? Does not plan. So you will so be on that table, you'll be there for a long time. So if all you have done this new school year is to wish that when school resumes, everything will be all right, or you have just bought bag, but I have not actually put together how you're going to navigate the first 30 days with its structures, it is blah, but she will struggle again. And you will struggle, and you know the worst part? You will struggle, and then you go online on social media and say things like, it is never possible for anybody to dress up children in the morning without yelling. Lie from the pit of hell. And then you believe it. You believe it because you haven't even learned what to do differently. That's why we believe things like it's impossible to raise a child without beating a child. It's not possible. We don't beat the child will be useless. Who are these people telling you these lies? And then we actually carry it. See, that Bible verse, indeed, leader Oluyole, that Bible verse that says the labor of the foolish man, that's one of my favorite scriptures. Wearieth every single one of them because they do not know how to go to the city. If you are weary in your parenting, you are being foolish. It's not me that said it. It's in the Bible. The labor. Parenting is labor now. If you're laboring in your parenting and you are actually being weary, like, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, you're on the foolish track. You're on the foolish track because the labor of the foolish man, the labor of the wise doesn't weary. Is there labor for the wise? Yes. Is there labor for the foolish? Yes. The difference between the two is that the wise will labor and not be weary. The foolish will labor and be weary and overwhelmed. So if you are weary and you're overwhelmed, it's foolishness. You just haven't seen the scripture like that. It is the truth. I'm not the one that said it. So when you put in structure, you actually become at ease. When you start right, your evenings close with, you have a home that, there's predictability. You give your child, actually, you give them, stability. And your children will perform better in school. So there's a stability required for, performance, for you to actually thrive, right? So it is important. It's important that you begin to see this thing. While I was teaching at back school this morning, I spoke about being able to create a goal. See, I can't even teach you anything, right? From that class was a 1 hour, 30 minutes class, power packed. Please go and get the back to school masterclass. Sit with it and begin to actually implement. While I was teaching, I shared about, my journey with the twins and, getting into the boarding school. And I talked about this, tool that is on the system, the Ultimate Boarding School Preparatory Handbook. I created it after I saw that there is a way to actually create these things, put in systems We created a structure from age 7 for the twins because we knew they were going to go to secondary school, boarding school. And I was sharing in that class, I said, it is a lie that a child who goes to boarding must lose everything that they have or must lose anything at all. That's normal. I call it normalized nonsense. It's part of it. You have normalized a very stupid thing. It becomes normal that a child's irresponsibility is applauded. A child comes back from boarding school with nothing, losing their things, their trousers, their shoes. I say, hey, that's how it is. You just go, it's part of parenting. You go and buy another one. Like, really? And I said to myself, no, there is something wrong with it. It's a foolish thing to think that you can raise people who are irresponsible and call it normal. And then I started to put in things in place. Our children went to boarding school, secondary school, and returned with every single item intact. It's called responsibility. It's called parenting. That's what it's called. So it's not just about your children coming first in class. It's also about them being responsible individuals in life. That's why we see people who are first class graduate, and then their wives are suffering because they don't have sense, apart from passing exams. That's all. That's why you see a girl top of the class, and then she's a girl without sense, literally. Like we say in the yard, the book, Raising the Girl with Sense. So it is different. It's a different thing, right? So if you're preparing your child to go to boarding, the ultimate boarding school preparatory handbook is important. Go and get it, sit with it. Even if your child is in primary 2, this is now. That's when you start. And then when the child now does those irresponsible things, because you have not trained the child to actually be responsible with their things, tomorrow when they do bigger things, you're beating the child, they will be responsible with their body. They will be responsible with their mind. They will be responsible in their thoughts because you have not taught them responsibility. It trickles down in everything. One thing trickles down and becomes every other thing. A child can't keep their things. You just say, oh, it's called responsibility quotient. Ability to respond is trained. It's not assumed. You train a child. You train a child to respond. To respond. So that's how it's done. So don't tell me, oh, no, it's normal. That's how children are. The same way you're saying it's normal to yell in the morning because that's what it is our parents did and we were okay. We are not okay. Again, should we go back to that subject? We are not okay. See anything okay with us? Most of us battled with yelling, battled with, in our minds, battled. We're still battling. We're still battling. We were given childhoods that we need to recover from. What are you talking about? So we cannot do things that way. It trickles down to everything. It trickles down to even when the man gets married, simple being responsible for his family becomes a problem because already you have stripped the person of responsibility. If the person cannot be responsible with things, is he human being? Human being is too big. Too big. So it is something that you must build. And that's why we're saying that you need to first, within the first 30 days of school is important. You need to put predictability in your system. Your home should develop structure, predictability. You need to give both you and your children the stability that school demands. Stability that school demands. It's important. Olubukola said, I believed it too, because I never thought it could happen. That you won't yell dealing with children till I enter TIP, and then I understand that it was possible. That's it. Teachers see your children who are emotionally settled. If you're a teacher, you understand, what I'm saying. When you see children who come from emotionally stable home, do you know or not? Teachers who are here. When you see children who are emotionally stable, do you know or not? Teachers who are here, please put comments in the comment section. Are you always aware of children who are in the distance? Are you always aware? Let me see you. Let me see you. Somebody said I do. Let me see you. 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 I do. If you're a teacher, please respond to us. If you're a teacher, respond to us. I do. There's always a difference. There's always a difference. There's always that difference, right? There's always that difference between a child who is stable and a child who is not. And you will see it. So the first 30 days is like planting seeds. If you plant in chaos, you will reap stress. That's the truth. If you plant with intention, you will reap growth. You will reap confidence the entire school year. But what we did this morning was to teach parents about the parent reset versus the child reset. So it's Joy. Okay, Joy lectures in university. She said, I am aware. It's evident, especially those in higher institutions. People think that once their children go to university, everything is gone. We stop parenting. Welcome to the new life. Welcome to the era. That's the era of preservation of destiny. You miss it, you're gone. That's when you should even tie your scarf. And woe betide you. You didn't do what it is you were supposed to do before then. Then the war is on. And when I mean war, I mean war. So don't think it's off you. I finished parenting, my children I hear people say those things. I finished parenting, my children are old, all of them are in university. I'm like, what does that even mean? All of them are in university. I don't really need, parenting classes for people who have younger children. I'm sure some of you are listening to me and saying that. We have grandparents in the inner circle. We have Justice Adeyemi here. Her children are all in the university, grown. You need to actually understand that this is you. It's more about you. It's more about you. This is very important. Now, the parents and the child, of course, you need to go back to school master class to listen to that class. Children need to be able, you need to reset more than your children need to reset. You need to reset. Your children also need to reset to learn how to handle transition. To learn how to handle transition. Your children need to reset to learn how to handle new teacher, peer dynamics. Peer dynamics, there's a lot for you to reset. Yes, if you miss planting in the right season, you'll be fighting weed in the coming season. That's it. The weed you will fight will be so excess, and you're wondering why, what is really happening? Are you fighting weed? Some of us are fighting weed already. If you have younger people and you are listening to me already, you should be doing Thanksgiving. If you have older children, you should tie your scarf on your waist and be ready for the war, because parenting is war. Where you fight, how you fight is how you finish. Where you stop is where the next generation will continue from. So the war you don't fight today, you will fight it tomorrow. It will linger. It will come and haunt generations and generations to come. Moses came from a lineage of a people that had anger. Moses was chosen. The time it manifested that he was supposed to be the person who is leading children of Israel out of it, it manifested. His anger still robbed him off of the promised land. It's coming from the Levite. He was a Levite. The war you don't fight. You say, we're always angry in our family. That's how we are. The war you don't fight, your children will live to fight it for life. Fight it today. That wrong parenting pattern you have, fight it today. Fight it off with your strength. Stop believing that, this thing is just going to happen like that. It won't. It won't. You will leave wars to fight. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is that there are so many things that happen. You look at, Nehemiah rebuilding wall. He had no business rebuilding that wall if Solomon did what he was supposed to be done. There are so many things that will not happen if the previous generation actually did what it is that is supposed to be done. Fight that war for your children today. So you give them a platform. I usually say that the biggest thing you can give any child is a platform, not money. Not money. Not money. Because the platform you give them is what gives them a stand. Where you stop fighting is where the next generation will fight. That's what you are. So anything you trivialize in this generation becomes, magnified in the next generation and becomes a real war, blown out of proportion. All right, very important. Now, what I call the big 5 anchor for the first 30 days. I'm going to be sharing with you the big 5 anchor for the first 30 days. Number 1 is the morning reading. The reason I told you at the beginning about the 5 minutes of morning, 5 minutes of evening, it's very important that you understand, right, the morning readings. What are the morning readings? All right, go back to school masterclass. You will hear, how you can get that tool on how you can begin your morning readings, your evening readings. How do you do it? The structures and your boundaries. We gave them tools, and how they can, access the homework structure, the screens at the bedtime. And then how do you build a rapport? On next tomorrow, we're going to be teaching at the masterclass. How will you build a rapport for your child, and your child's teacher early? Stop fighting. All this fighting of children. You are doing your children a disservice. The problem is not the teacher. The problem is that your child is at the receiving end and you don't even know it. You have a problem, and that's one of the biggest things that is happening to you. And you must be able to pay attention to that. That's a very important key thing. All right. So it's important that you actually begin to look at that. So the emotional, the teacher connection, is part of your big anchor. Morning reading, evening reading, structure and boundaries, teacher connection, and then emotional support. They are your big five big anchors for you to be able to win in the first 30 days of school. See, you can't win without the structures that we are having shared at the back to school masterclass. That's it. That's it. This is very important. Justice Omolara said parenting war is just starting when they get into the university. That's it. That's when the thing just starts. Just getting, I'm beginning to see a lot of more, we have a lot of parents with their children in university now, and there have been a lot of, conversations around that. And I look at it and I look at toddler parents, I'm like, they don't know what God has done for them. They don't know it. All right. Somebody said, I love this. My mom taught me never to fight with someone who cares for your kids. This is it. Please don't. Please. You need to learn. How do you support the school that your children are in? How do you support the school? What do you do? What do you need to do every single day? Every single day. How do you help your child win? So those are the big 5 anchors, all right? Go back to school masterclass. We're going to be sharing all these things we're sharing at the back to school masterclass. It's going to be anchored on these 5 anchors. Tomorrow, Coach Omolara is going to be sharing also on part of structures and boundaries, and then teacher connection. Barrister Kenlami is going to be sharing on teacher connection and then emotional support as well. What are the common mistakes parents make? Common mistakes parents make in the first 30 days. And this is something that you will need to work on, right, as we go. First mistake parents make as they actually resume school. Number 1, because you need to see yourself in this mistake and then shift towards a change. Overloading your children with activities too soon. You are eager for your child to excel. I get it. So you sign them up. Multiple school lessons. After school, this one. Am I saying that it's wrong for you to sign them up for those things? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm only saying that you would need to watch it. What does it mean? How is it, right, that it gets to a point where you are actually overloading your children with activities too soon? So instead of thriving, they feel so overwhelmed. They feel burnt out because the term even, before the term even begins to gain the momentum that it needs. So what do? Give your children time to settle them. Introduce extra activities gradually. Once you have been able to find their rhythm, and then you now start being able to actually, put all of those things together, right? I don't believe in extra classes. I don't believe in it. A lot of people have spoken to me and said, coach, sometimes a child needs, if you're going to scaffold the child, which is what a lesson is, you want to scaffold the child for a moment. If you scaffold the child for life, you will do them a disservice. So if you hire extra lesson teacher every time for your child, and the child, that's the way they survive, you're killing the child, you're not making them. There's a way to actually help a child who is struggling. Now, if you need to do extra lessons, not extra lesson you need a teacher who understands the way that the child learns, who understand that extra lessons don't teach the child really. Children don't learn with extra lessons. Children who are struggling with lessons, no, they don't. They learn with you changing the approach. They learn with you changing the approach. So it's important that you understand this. So loading your child with plenty activities. Oh, you do lesson from 1 to 10. Oh, the teacher, English lesson, math lesson. I'm not saying that it's bad for you to push your child to do better. I am for excellence. Remember, I shared this also at the Back to School Masterclass today. All right. So give them time to settle in and then begin to introduce them. Number 2, focusing on academics alone and neglecting emotional needs. That's another mistake. You rush in, you check homework, you're checking their test scores, their reading level. You never forget to ask, how is your new school? Who are the friends that you're meeting in this new school? What was hard for you? Who did you sit with today? How do they treat people in this school? That's why our children get bullied for long in a school and we never get to know because we're not checking it. Oh yes, we're not checking it. It's important for you to understand that you are a CCTV for your child. Today I was sharing it and I was talking about it. You are your child's CCTV. That's who you are. That's who you are. And what does CCTV camera do? They pick up subtle changes. If the same student is always looking withdrawn in class, the CCTV will notice. So as the parent, one of the things you do is that you must notice subtle shift in your child. Subtle shift in your child. All right. So you need to, a usually bubbly child suddenly doesn't want to talk and all of that. A child who you love now, now say, I hate this school, I hate this place. Watch it. Lunch box comes back food, they are not eating, or comes back finished. You know that they won't finish the food. Watch it. CCTV cameras connect different moments. You don't just see one incident, they capture patterns. As a parent, you must be able to connect the dots. A teacher's report of daydreaming, your observation of late night screen, how is this affecting the child? Repeated complaint of headache every morning, it could signal a school avoidance due to stress. Have you sat down to also really look at it and ask yourself, am I connecting the moments? So they connect different moments. CCTV cameras don't intervene instantly. They provide evidence. That the footage is valuable when questions arise. When questions arise, you go to the person and say, hey, this thing, what were you doing here? You've noticed as a parent, instead of rushing to blame the teacher or to scold your child, you gather context. You notice that your child is always moody after science class. Oh, it must be the teacher. The teacher hates my child. Come on. Gather context. That's what makes you a partner, not an accuser. Tell yourself in the comment section, I am a partner in my child's school, not an accuser. That's who you are. A partner, not an accuser. Then CCTV cameras present reduces, misconduct. Reduces misconduct. Students behave better when they know the camera is watching. Your child is less likely to engage in negative peer pressure when they know that you are involved and you are attentive. But you know the interesting thing? CCTV camera don't talk, but they see everything. As a parent, you don't need to always speak, but you must observe patterns. Because you're a partner, you're not an accuser. Stop looking for what to accuse your children's school for. Every time you're looking for loopholes. But notice something about CCTV cameras. They don't hover. They don't block people. They stay in the background, watching, not overbearing. Parenting requires the same level of balance. Presence, but not choking, involved, but not controlling. Do you know, I asked a parent recently in a session, I said, do you know the reality of your child's daily reality, the activities, as in, do you know your child's daily reality in school? Or you're waiting until there's a crisis? Do you know my children are in boarding school, but if I close my eyes, I can tell you their routine in a day. Do you know their reality? Do you know your child's school reality? You're waiting for everything to scatter. What footage are you viewing? Report from teacher, your child's mood after school, sudden changes in interests and habits? Are you a silent observer who steps in wisely, or you just absent until something goes wrong? This goes to your children in the university. A parent reached out to me. Her child is studying medicine. The child has been suicidal for the past 1 year. She didn't know. It is for everybody. So if you're going to work with your children, think about the CCTV system. Are you a silent observer who steps in wisely, or you are absent until something goes wrong? The fact that your child is in higher institution doesn't mean you should not watch for patterns. You are still a parent till the day you die. That's why in the Bible, in Esther, when Esther had finished marrying, Mordecai had done what it is he wanted to do. Mordecai positioned himself at the king's gate. He was not inside the palace with Esther, remember, but he was at the king's gate. Why do you think he remained there? Why do you think he remained at the king's gate? He was alert enough to overhear, to report a plot that could have destroyed the king. And you know, if the king was destroyed, Esther could have been destroyed. But the king was saved. Not only the king, an entire nation. This morning, I was saying this same thing in back to school class. You're a gatekeeper. You may not be in the classroom, but your attentiveness can preserve your child's destiny. Are you observing? Are you at the gate observing? Now we're talking about back to school. You're like, back to school. It's for children now. It's for children. My children have been doing back to school. You know, this I'm going to share it, you know, with the others, how to do the back to school conversations every time. You set up a proper system and set your children to understand what it is that's going to happen. It doesn't matter the age of your child. Stop thinking that your children have gone to university, you've retired from parenting. Osheo, retiree of parents. You don't have retirement, ma, sir. You don't retire. In fact, your work increased. That's the truth. The work of a mentor as a parent is harder. So I was having a conversation. We're in the mentorship stage when it comes to the seasons of parenting. And, you know, I was having a conversation with our daughter. And she was like, this thing that you're saying, self. I said, because I'm your parent, which is okay. But of course, it's difficult for you to position as a mentor. But unfortunately, nobody will do it for me. Nobody will do it for me. So it's important that you actually understand that parenting is the school system. It requires, you know, some kind of balance. That's why we created the Back to School Masterclass. We created it to help you learn how to stay connected in your child's school life in the first 30 days. We created it to help you pick up early warning. Stop waiting until the child drowns in school. Then you wake up and then you begin to fight with everybody around you. Stop. We're going to help you to balance involvement over overstepping without overstepping. We're going to help you to partner effectively with your teachers. Create an accountability system in your home. Your watchfulness is what preserves your child's destiny. Don't just send your child to school. Be their silent CCTV, present, intentional, and wise. That's why joining the Back to School is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's important. Let's go so that we can begin to conclude. The next part is, what are the practical tools that you can use to actually begin to build this winning the first 30 days of school? We created tools, a 30 disconnection plan, right? A back to school research checklist. We have 5 checklists. We have 5 research tools we shared in the masterclass. If you pay for the back to school masterclass, you get access to these reset tools, and then you will be able to actually have all these things to work with. All right. And then we also created how you can put up systems when it comes to your parenting, right? We're talking about systems that you can put up to help you to actually create some of these things that we're saying. So we're saying system, and so some people are listening to me and they're wondering, which one is system again? How do I create the system? We've made it easy for you. All you need to do is to get into the back to school masterclass. That's all you need to do. And that's an important part. All right. And if you're able to do that, he helps you and it turns everything around for you. Some of these tools that we created, some parents already started using them to actually create. And if you're looking for a school for your child, believe you me, you will make the wrong school choice if you do not know what to look out for. In part of the tools that we created at the Back to School Masterclass, we created what we call the Parent-School Power Balance Agreement, right? Because I realized that you need to understand the school and the school needs to understand you. What do we expect from the school? What should a school expect from us? You actually have an agreement. And that's part of what you're going to learn about the Back to School Masterclass. What are the things that remain non-negotiable? We created a tool called the School Influence Audit Worksheet for parents, where you're having a quick self-check for yourself at every point in time for your child being in that school. So we're not telling you to go and do things and just start from the scratch. We're telling you we have created these things for you. Come and use them. We also created the independent learner checklist. We realized that a lot of parents struggle when their children are in school. Oh, you are the one doing homework. You are the one helping them to revise during school. You are the one you can raise an independent learner. So we created that independent learner checklist to help you to checkmate both you and your child. Homework ownership, self-motivation and this thing, asking yourself, scoring, there's a scoring sheet on it. We shared how you can use the tools and what it is that you need to do with it. All of these tools come with the Back to School Masterclass. We also created the Family Learning Vision Board Code. Today I was talking about creating goals. And I said what many of us do when it comes to creating goals is that we just think. We think that our children are just going to just become. We also created what we call the Invisible Parent System Blueprint. There's a system that you need. Morning routines that run on checklists, homework stations, built-in accountability bodies, and then even showing you how to create structures that make children responsible without you having to over. It's important that you actually pay attention. Actually pay attention to what it is you need to learn in the now. All right. So that's the tools that we created. If you win in the first 30 days, you don't just prepare your child for school, you prepare your whole family for peace and progress all year long. All right. So if you haven't gotten, you have these, 100 questions that you must ask before choosing your child to school, get it. It's in our store. It's 2.5. It's in our store. You can have access to it. Just go, get a copy, sit down with it, and begin to review. Is my child even in a good school? Is the right school? Please get into the Back to School Masterclass. It's going to save your life. Honestly, it will save your life. Literally. If you're listening to me, you're not there already, this is what you need to do. I love it. Buy the truth and sell it not. All right? So you see the common mistakes, all right, that you do and the things that you need to do. So this class is for every parent, even if your child is not. So all these, hey, back to school is not really for me. My children are not in secondary school. There's more work. And the unfortunate thing for us in this generation, everyday parenting changes. So I read an article of a very big influencer. Her child, she's a parenting influencer, right? Her child died by ChatGPT prompt. That's how her child died. What happened? Her child committed suicide. Had gone and was chatting with the chatbot AI, And then, that's how she got details on what she needed to do. That's how this woman lost her only child. And this child was in college. She was not a young person. No, she was not a teenager. So that's why when you say, oh, my children are now 18 university, I don't really need some of these classes and all of that. I'm smiling. This child, maybe the parents left her and said, adult, she's not an adult, she can do what she wants. She can now, do whatever. She said that that's one of her greatest regrets. She can do what she wants. She felt that monitoring was not important. It will shock you at how much you still need to do a lot of guidance. A lot of guidance for your children, your adult children. I think that girl was 20 or so. And you can't believe that such a thing will happen to such a person at that level. She lost her life. She lost her daughter. Their last picture was, in a trip on South Africa. In fact, I saw the picture. When they took that picture in Robin Island, I've been there. In fact, I had tears in my eyes. Please, let's not be careless. And I'm speaking especially to those of us who think we have arrived in parenting, we've finished parenting. There's no finishing. There's no finishing. It is a race. It is a race. It is war. Nobody takes selfie at war front. So it is not a selfie time. Nobody gets out of armor tank, according to Christiana. Nobody gets out of armor tank in the middle of the war. And this is why you need classes like this. This is why you need to equip yourself. So go back. Please get those tools. Even if your child is going to university, sit with them. I was privileged to be in a listening session in the US. And I was looking at the children that some of us have left to actually do the things that they want to do there because they're in university. I was pained. Some of us don't even know what it is that our children are up to in Canada. I saw some students in Canada and I felt hot. Their parents had no idea what they are going through. None. Because according to you, my children are just abroad, they're doing very well. And that's it. Please stop taking selfies. It's not selfie moment. It's parenting moment. It's not a time for mini-me, for uniform. It's a parenting moment. It's not a time for relaxation because the children have gone to university. It's still a parenting moment. While you are there taking your picture, you are still looking all around and making sure that the bullet doesn't hit you. That the bullet doesn't hit you because you can be there on a wire and then the bullet just hits you and that's it. Everything you've worked for, everything you struggled for. Please, that moment can be a lot. That moment can be a lot. I don't know why I'm speaking to people who have older children, but please take heed now. The older your child is, the more you need to even gain more knowledge because remember that at that point, your child is also very knowledgeable. So it's knowledge versus knowledge. It's not fight. Because if you fight, you miss the whole lesson.
Power on.
You miss the whole lesson.
Power off.
You actually fight. That's an important aspect of your journey. That said, if you have not registered for back to school master, make sure you're. If you're not registered for inner circle, we're not begging again. No, better get into the inner circle, please. Just get in, pay, and be in the inner circle. The team will share details on my screen. And of course, you can take advantage of the fee, the discounted, inner circle fee. Instead of 150, you're paying 120. Instead of 300, you're paying 250. You're still paying 200 first for a couple slot. All right. So take advantage now. So 150, 300, you're paying 200. Take advantage now. Take advantage now. So when the fee now changes, you're not saying, coach, can you know? The inner circle is here. See, parenting is not a place where you stop. There's no stopping. You are going. Please don't make the mistake of stopping. It will drown you if you do. And if you're not reading books, please start reading now. We're currently reading this, Raising the Girl with Sense. One of the most profound books I've written. I know. When I wrote this book, I was like, okay, now I know one of the books, I wrote these 2 books last year. Raising the Boy, You Don't Need to Bail Out, and Raising the Girl with Sense. Powerful read. You want to get copies. All right. I'm currently writing a book called Parenting Reset. I'm trying to put together why you need to actually be in a space where, yes, you've missed it, but what can you do? Because I get a lot of that question. What can I do? I've missed it. Where do I start from? You can start today. And that was the message. All right. I'm also, writing, dear working parent. So if you are a working parent and you think, oh, I don't know how, I can't make an excuse, I don't know what it is I need to do. Excuses are cheap. Those that make them are not wise. You need to remember now, whether you are a working parent or not, that doesn't excuse you. Because if not, if you excuse yourself, you exclude yourself at the end of the day. All right. Parenting is not for loafers indeed. All right. So we also have Raising the Independent Thinking Child. All right. Some people in the yard say that this is their manual, their Bible. I love it because every holiday we go to the tools and we pick which tool we're going to practice in the holiday. So there are different kinds of tools. One of those holidays, there are some tools that are permanent. There are some tools that are reoccurrent. There are some tools that are, put in there and all of that. Amazing read. Then Raising the Emotionally Skilled Child. The things you find in the books that I write, they are not normal with the books that you see all around. Then I have Raising the Trophy Child. This is, somebody, said to me, I read this book and I wept because I understand exactly what it is that you actually, put all of that. David said, it takes special type of change to hear this and not join in a circle because the word is so dark. Well done, Debbie. So we have the parenting advantage, how to love your child more. Just send us a message, with that number, you will be able to get all our books, Solving Problems Through Effective Communication. By the way, our Amazon channel is currently experiencing some challenge and we are working on it tirelessly. But in the meantime, to get our books, you need to get it on our seller store, or you can get hard copies from our distributors all over the world. We have distributors in Australia, in Canada, in the US, in Scotland, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Zambia. Am I correct? In Zambia. And of course, you can get our books, all of those places, and you'll be able to have them. Then Resolving Sibling Rivalry. And in the recent times, we had the book, The Family Plan for Godly Marriage and Courtship. All right, today, we're going to even start by tomorrow and start breaking it down for all the people who have a copy of this book. We're breaking it down. Yadas, you get it, right? You get it. The Parenting Launch Plan, and then we have the, the Sex Educate series, of course. We've been talking about Sex Educate your child like a pro. You'll be overwhelmed if you don't really have a system to get you to read these things. I've seen a lot of people who get in, read our books, but to implement it becomes a problem. In the inner circle, we break these books down and we help you to implement it. All right. We have Discipline is Not an Emergency. Yep. We have Connect to Correct. We have the Discipline That Works. I will have From Yelling to Calm. These are all the discipline series. Okay. And you will all put it together. Okay. Now, and then lastly, I have my book called The Kingmaker When You Look at My Message, My Miracles, and My Method. This is the book that I wrote in honor of my 40th, and I wrote about me. Yes, amazing read. It's going to change the trajectory of your work if you are an impact maker. Trust me when I say so. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been amazing being here with you. Please book the slot for Inner Circle. We're going to close Inner Circle registration very early because we're migrating to an app. We're using an app in the coming year, and we need to be able to test it, migrate it, put it all together before the 1st of December. Don't miss out. Yeah, guys, you already have your slots and your discounts, all right? You can use it for a family and friend, but please ensure that you use it before the 30th of September. That is your benchmark. Remember that the registration for Inner Circle ends in November. Once we shut it, we are not opening it. We shut it, we don't open it. Shut it, we don't open it. All right? You wait again for 1 year again. So 2026 starts on the 1st of December. Don't wait and don't be out. Don't forget to get the book, 100 Questions Every Parent Must Ask Before Choosing a School. If you're going to choose a school for your child, don't just choose a school. Please get these 100 questions, ask them so that you can win. And if you are also trying to get a copy of, if you're trying to send your child to boarding school, don't just send your child to boarding school. Get the Ultimate Boarding Preparatory Handbook. You will thank me for this in years to come. If your child is even 2, is a good time to start. All right. And if you've not registered for the back to school masterclass, you're still in the place, right? You're still in the place where you've not registered for back to school masterclass, right? Please register for back to school masterclass already so that you can learn much more. What I have just shared with you is just scratching the surface. Back to school masterclass is free for others. For those that are asking, all you need to do is to get your tools. You can pay, 2,000 to get the tools that, you did the back to school bundle, the back to school. But if you are outside, you need to, outside of the yard, when you pay, you get all of these things, free. Okay. So that just it. This is where, congratulations to the TIP team. I remain a yada. Yes. I just finished reading the book, Raising the Girl with Sense. That book is it for me. Raising the Girl with Sense. All right. I am particularly excited. Mr. Tioko Chokuka, I see you, ma'am. I see you, Joy Dennis. I see you, Professor Chris II, Amaka Onya, Esther, member, Owojaye. Love the name. All right. Yes, we are building the TIP app and we are excited about it. Who can try? It is inner circle or nothing. And trust me, we set the pace and others follow. Anytime, any day. We are proud like that. And if you're wondering why we are proud like this, please forgive us. We're like that. That is it. That's how it works. All right. See you all in the yard and have an amazing day. See you in the master class, tomorrow at 10. Right. Thank you and do have an amazing day.
Common phrases in the inner circle. Let's go.
You're coming for an inner circle webinar and you're not with your yellow blanket with red trimmings. Is that even a joke?
Oh, I'm running and I'm not looking back because 10,000 lions are chasing me. I have watched all the webinars, but today, Coach came with a bazooka.
Even with my humility agbada, I still collected.
If you're not in the ark, you better enter now because flood na bia o.
In the inner circle, we dey walk and they show.
TIP police is coming for you. There is no need harness here. You definitely cannot relate because you are not in the yard.
If you are not in the yard,
why not?